Just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar. Now, we have one serious question to get out of the way before we start this whole thing. We obviously met because I train at your gym.
Yeah.
Is the reason you won't spar me because you're scared, because you've seen me move around and you're worried that I may do a bit of work on you? Is that the reason?
Yeah, a little bit. You're a big boy, man.
Mate, I'm here with the Australian champion, super middleweight champion. Real name Cesar Mateo Tapia. Born in Mexico.
Yeah, that's it.
When did you come over here? What age?
4 years old.
Okay.
Flew over here. I was supposed to fly on the September 11 day.
No way.
That got postponed. Yeah, there's a little.
How? Tell us. Okay. So your parents obviously told you the story. You were 4 years old when it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't tell me then. They told me when I was a bit older.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And I found out we were supposed to fly on that day.
And so how did the events lead up to you getting told you're not flying in that?
I don't know. Well, September 11 happened, obviously. And we were supposed to fly on that day, and then we got pushed back a few months.
Yeah.
And we came here then, but that's about it.
Wow, that's bizarre. Like on that day.
Yeah, because we flew from LA
Yep.
to Sydney from there. So
Yeah. Wow. Were you? I mean, you wouldn't have. You're too young. I was going to say, were you like worried? Because like everyone's tension is risen up after that happened. You were too fucking young to remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You would have fought them, bro. As a 4-year-old, you'd like, if there was any terrorists on the plane, you would have been like, fucking square up, bro.
Yes.
So you've obviously got your fight. Everyone, please buy the main event for Tim Tszyu next Wednesday. You're on the undercard. You can buy it on KO. You can buy it on main event. Now you're not. Are you co-main?
Opening fight.
You're the opening fight on the card.
Yeah.
On the main event. And it's against Renold
Quinlan.
Renold Quinlan. And you actually have history with Renold. You fought him for the Australian title maybe 12 months ago?
Yeah, year and a half maybe.
A year and a half ago?
Just over a year and a half.
So how you feeling leading into this fight?
I'm feeling good, confident, but I still have to be very careful with what Quinlan can bring because he's dangerous and he has a lot of experience. He's been to the top. He's fought the best guys in the world, so he knows what he's doing in there. And any time if I let my guard down, he can, make me pay. So I have to be really switched on and do the job again. And I know he's coming with vengeance this time.
Yeah.
He wants it's a rematch. So.
And the last fight I was there and I watched it. It was a dog fight, but towards the end it was. At the start it was more of a, boxing wise, I felt your skill was just a bit on another level. Yeah. Then it turned into a bit of a dogfight. Yeah. But you even still won that. So I'm sure like his ego and pride is going to be like,
oh yeah,
I want to get that back.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I'm prepared for everything he has to bring. So,
yeah. Okay.
I'm excited.
I've seen you in the gym, bro, and you do like a dogfight. So I've seen it firsthand. So that first one for the Australian title, how much did it mean to you to become, the best super middleweight in the country?
Meant the world to me. Because there was I always wanted to win an Australian title growing up, and I had the chance when I was 15 in Adelaide, in the amateurs, and just crazy story where basically back then it was a point system, so it was touch, and you score, and I got beaten by 1 point, but it shouldn't have been that. Like it was, I felt like I got robbed. I was winning all 3 rounds because I had live scoring at the time, and I was ahead by 3 rounds the first round.
Yep.
3 punches the first round, then second round I was ahead by 2, and I don't know how the third round it came even, and they went to a count back, and he was ahead by 1 point. So
what?
How
does that work?
At the time, his coach was the Australian coach. He's the coach for his team, the Queensland team, was the Australian coach at the time.
Oh, well, I mean, fuck.
So
give me a break.
I've always wanted to win an Australian title.
Yep.
And I felt like when they gave me the chance with Renold the first time, this was my shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what better stage to do it on?
And it's like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of prestige in winning amateur, but pro is the real. You want to win the pro belts.
Exactly.
There's plenty of amateurs, and again, this is fucking some bum talking that can't fight to save his life. But there's plenty of amateurs that have been great in amateur, and they haven't made the transition very well because it's a very different style of fighting.
It's a whole different style of sport. It's more brutal.
Yep. Okay.
You feel the punches a lot more. When you get hit with a 10-ounce glove, it's you got to be prepared for it.
Yeah.
And with thousands of people yelling at you, it's even it's more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more intense.
Absolutely. And also, I feel like with thousands of people yelling at you, you might have a tendency, like, let's say he does land one good shot on you, because the crowd's like, oh, you're like, fuck, I want to get that back. Whereas, like, in amateurs, I'm assuming you can stay a lot calmer with things like that.
Yeah, amateurs is a lot quicker.
Okay.
It's very fast paced, but yeah, I get that. I got to control it sometimes. You know, when someone hits me, I get like, I change. You know? But yeah,
it's hard because you need that as a fighter.
You need it.
You need it, but at the same time, you don't want it to overtake you. It's like it's like a footy player. Really, some footy players are super aggressive.
Yeah.
And the ones that learn to control it go on, and the ones that don't, they fucking just get suspended and shit. And
you got to learn how to relax in there, especially when you know your vision does get fuzzy for that split second. You got to learn how to relax.
Yep, absolutely. So this has anything changed for you coming into this? You obviously won the Australian title against this guy, and I think it shows a lot for you because you're willing to fight. He's a dangerous guy, you know, with no disrespect to him, but with not as much upside as, you know, a lot of fighters wouldn't do what you're doing because it is a risk for you. He's a high quality fighter that has losses on his records. So it doesn't, for you to beat him, it doesn't give you much. Whereas for him to beat you, it's a massive win.
Yeah, the tables have changed this time, you know. I was a kid back then. I still am, but I feel like I've grown a little bit more. I'm wiser, I'm stronger. I was looking at photos the other day of me and Quinlan when we weighed in compared to now. It's like, it's a complete difference. Like my body, how I've changed. And because I've gone through 3 camps basically before this fight.
Okay.
Because COVID.
Yep.
Fights on, no fight. Fights on, no fight. Can't get out of it. Blah, blah, blah. And
then you had some guys pulling out for this one as well?
Yeah, had a few guys, you know, just couldn't make it. They're either booked, injured, pulled out.
Whatever it is.
And you know, Quinlan's there putting his hands up. I want it, so, and I'm gonna give him a rematch. So.
Yeah, no, it's fair play to you because the tough thing with boxing is this like weird. Boxing's in Australia. Like, don't get me wrong, you can have a loss on your record, but people guard that so strongly because it's just like so much better to promote.
Exactly.
You know, the 13-0 or 12-0 kind of guy.
Exactly.
So you've had some other fights where you enjoyed. The first fight I saw you was against Copland. And it was on the Hopewadi Gallon undercard. Yeah. And I remember coming into the gym. The guy, he's partly your trainer, but he also trains me. Probably, you know what? It's probably why you're scared of me because I've been trained so well by the trainer. That could be it. It's all you, bros. But I remember coming in and saying, bro, like, he's so fucking talented, and he picked him apart for the 7 rounds. It just looked like for the first 6 rounds, you picked him apart. Like it was just. There was just levels to it. Yeah. And then the last few rounds, I was like, it just looked like he gassed a little bit. He just needs to learn to, like, space out his dominance. So walk us through that fight. How did that all come about?
So there's a story behind it. I had a 6-pack in my hand and I was going to watch a sunset for New Year's on the 31st. And I got a call from Tony saying, you're fighting February 8th.
And Tony's your promoter?
My trainer.
Your trainer, sorry, yep.
You're fighting February 8th. Get ready, blah, blah, blah. You're fighting Adam Copland. He's undefeated. And I go, fuck, really? Because the time frame. And then he hangs up. And then I was just like, fuck.
So you had 4 weeks to get ready.
4 weeks. And then the week taper off. So it was basically 4 weeks.
Yep.
And I remember putting my beers down and going for a run just to start.
Do
something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I ended up starting on the first training. I knew I wasn't fit for that fight.
Yeah.
But it's just a fighter's mentality where you just go in there and I don't know. I guess I sort of knew what I was doing. I knew I was going to give my all the first 3 rounds, get ahead. Scored the knockdown in the second. So I was a few rounds up and I knew I wasn't fit. So I took 4 and 5 off just to get my breath back.
Okay, yeah.
And 6, I came out strong.
Yep.
And then 7 and 8, I still won them, but like I was tired.
Oh, mate. As I said, like,
was tired.
A fit you, or probably finishes him in the 4th or 5th round. A fit you.
I believe so.
If you're fit. But it's weird because like I remember specifically at this point I didn't know who you were. I didn't even know that you trained at the same gym.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's funny because now the fucking, it reveals why you towed him up for the first 3 rounds. And no disrespect to him, he's a great fighter. But
he's a good fighter.
Yeah, okay.
He was tough.
He was fucking super tough. And he come out in like pink shorts and shit. Is he the Candyman?
Candyman.
And so you don't expect that to be tough.
Nah.
Like the Candyman's not tough. The Candyman's fucking put on a show 1 or 2 rounds and then he's just gassing.
Yeah.
But he wasn't that. He was the opposite. So fucking fair play to him.
Nah, fair play.
So take us back to a young fella. So you were born in Mexico. Was it always boxing for you? Was it something you grew into?
I grew into it. I was playing rugby league at the start for the Narrabeen Sharks. And I was overweight. I was really overweight. And, you know, I was getting bullied in primary school. I started playing rugby league, but it wasn't doing anything to lose the weight. I was still fat walking around. And we drove past a gym. It was in Narrabeen, and we saw a ring. Me and Mum saw a ring, and we're like, Mum was like, we drove past, and I go, I used to love wrestling at the time.
Yeah, okay. Like WWE?
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it. And I go, I want to go in there. I want to wrestle. Like, I want to.
Yeah.
Mum's like, all right, I'll take you in there. I don't think she knew. Oh, she knew it wasn't a wrestling ring.
Yeah, okay.
But she walked in there and we asked, and then that's how it started. We walked in there and the trainee in there said, it's not a wrestling gym, mate.
What are you doing?
Yeah. And that's how we started. We just started it to lose weight just to lose weight in general. And, you know, just for my self-esteem, being, you know, not being a fat kid walking around everywhere.
Yeah, you get, like, man, primary school, high school, it's brutal, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Brutal.
So we started at 9. That's when it all started. And then a year and a half later, I had my first fight at Golden Gloves.
Oh, really? Well, that's pretty quick turnaround to go from, like, never doing it to fighting Golden Glove. Okay, so was your first fight, do you remember the feelings at all?
I don't remember much, but I do remember who I fought, and we still laugh about it to this day. Is that just Justice Honey?
Oh, Justice Honey.
And I remember
Yeah, you're fighting him. He's a giant.
Yeah, so at the time, we flew up to Queensland, and I think I gave away 4 or 5 kilos. He beat me.
Yeah.
But I just remember it was him who I fought first.
For your first ever fight. Fucking hell.
But I lost, but it was just a good experience.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
From then on, we just kept fighting.
I mean, if there's one guy to lose to, it's like one of our best Olympians ever to come through, and he's fucking 5 kilos heavier than you. And so you lost, but you walked away going, I love that.
Yeah, we were kids.
Okay, yeah.
I was 48 kilos, and I don't know why it was just...
It was probably like 100 kilos. He came out with a goatee, bro. He came out with a goatee. Okay, but did you... So you lost a fight, but you kids, like, fuck, it's whatever.
Kids.
But you felt like, I love that. You enjoyed it.
Yeah, I loved it. It was, from then on, I just stuck with it, basically.
Yeah. Okay, and so did you continue fighting regularly after that?
A little bit.
Yep.
I went through a stage, as we all do. You grow up, you see friends, you go out, partying and stuff like that, and I went through that stage. After I got robbed from the Australian title, that's when it all started.
Oh, really? When you really got more determined?
No, I got to the Australian title and I got robbed, and I lost a lot of love for it.
Oh, okay, yep.
Basically, and that's when I went through a couple of years of just being bad.
Okay.
And, you know, I always had in the back of my head I wanted to turn professional. So when I turned 18, or just before I turned 18, I made that decision.
Yeah, I'm going in.
To just put all my life into it. Whatever happens.
Okay. And so how many years was you 16 when you got robbed from the national titles and amateurs? 15. So you took, 2-3 years off?
Yeah.
Wow. And so what were you doing? Just doing what young kids do, drinking, partying, all that kind of shit?
Yeah, long story short.
Long story short.
Bad, and getting into bad stuff, which is bad. But I'm glad I went through that early and not now.
Absolutely. Because you're 22 now, so you're still at a risk of going into that kind of shit.
I'm glad I went through that experience. I've saw everything I need to see. I've been through whatever those kids, kids go through. I've seen, what's right, what's wrong. So I know not to go back to that.
Absolutely. And no, there's no real enjoyment, contentment long term doing that shit.
No way.
Small short highs, but not really.
Yeah.
Okay, so what the day you decided to come back to the gym,
I was always training,
but just not committed.
Yeah, I would still fight,
Okay.
but I wasn't fit. I didn't care. Like, I'd go out partying the week before.
So it was just like social boxing, really.
Yeah, I'd just go out. I'd get a few wins, a few losses.
Yep.
But I always knew I wanted to be professional, and I think a turning point when I was 17. This is what really. I had a car accident and hanging around these people, and the car rolled 3 times. And just long story short, it was a fucking scary experience.
Okay.
Like, we went right, we would have been dead.
Wow.
Off a cliff.
Far out. So what, you were drinking and driving, dumb shit?
I was in the back seat.
Okay.
And just dumb shit. Just you do when you're a kid.
Wow.
And from that point on, I always went back to the gym. But from that point on, I changed. It was something inside me that went, fuck, you can't keep doing this shit.
Absolutely. Yeah, no way, bro. No way.
So that was around 17, 16. And then from then, no, it was 17. And from then, I turned professional 18 and just turned it all around.
And so was it the next morning? Was it, straight after, like, when you're in that crash, obviously, did everyone survive the crash?
Yeah.
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 Did you just get out and were you immediately like, fuck, what am I doing? Or was it the next day?
It was the next day.
Yeah, okay.
We were kids. We kept partying afterwards.
Okay, fuck, just dumb kids.
Yeah, dumb.
Yeah.
But you live and you learn, and it was the next day. On the Monday, I went to the gym and it all changed. And then I didn't tell my parents what happened.
Oh, fuck.
And
As kids do, bro.
They found out from the grapevine. And like, fucking dad had a word with me and my uncle, like, pretty serious. And that's when it all
changed.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank whoever. Yeah. If you believe in whoever you believe in, thank that person upstairs.
No, seriously, because if we went right, we were gone.
So, as in, if the car flipped right, or
just kept going.
Okay, just kept going.
So the car's going to the right, but then it's turned back around.
Yep.
And then it started flipping to the left.
Oh, okay. So someone saw there was a cliff and gone, fuck.
I think the car just, maybe.
Yeah, and just like
it went too quick for me to see the.
Yeah, okay.
I was just braced.
Yeah, wow.
It just, you felt the car go. It was like a click, and then everything goes quiet.
Oh man, yeah, that's a weird thing about events like that in your life. It's the eerie silence.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure there was music blasting, and I had a surfboard in between me, so there was something. Fuck. I don't know where that went.
Fucking hell,
bro. Yeah, it was pretty hectic.
Wow. Well, thank God you learned from it. And thank God no one got hurt, man.
Yeah.
So you go back into the gym, and now your headspace is like, it's funny, like a lot of young men like yourself and young women as well, they need something to keep them busy and focused. Because as soon as, especially young men specifically, and this is not to say that women don't go through things, but young men have a tendency to be way more stupid than chicks do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just do dumb shit.
Yeah.
And so it's so important to have something to guide them. Because,
exactly.
like, I don't know, a lot of my friends growing up, the only thing that separated me and them was the fact that I was training all the time. Otherwise, I would have just done what they did. That's what you do as a kid. Okay, so, but at what point did you feel kind of like, do you remember your professional debut?
Yeah.
Okay, who was it? Walk us through the feelings. How did it all come about?
Bentley Shefford, his name was. He was, as you do, it's a building process, I was nervous. I didn't know what I was walking into.
And you're 18 at this point too, young as 18. Shit. Yeah.
And ended up winning first round, body shot, got him. But it was just more like, it was probably, I don't really remember going into it, but I remember the feeling afterwards.
Okay.
It was something I'd never forget. I feel like I did change my life around, but I had to just keep working at this.
Okay,
I couldn't just stop here.
Absolutely.
And all my mates are cheering, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't go back to that. I had to just keep chipping away.
So you felt that kind of elation that you'd never felt before in your life, like that pure ecstasy, for lack of a better word, that you get through all your hard work.
Exactly.
And it's got to feel good, that body shot.
It's a feeling that, when it's all done, a fight, it's I don't know what it's like after a footy match or like winning a grand final or something, but all that emotion just coming, you get to relax, you feel free, you feel happy. It's
content.
Yeah.
Content. Like there's no stress in the world.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
Because all you think, it'd be the same with footy, but like all pre-season, you're just stressing, like, am I going to be good enough? Am I going to be strong enough? What if?
Exactly. And that's going into a fight. It's the same. You're asking yourself these questions, your doubts, you're confident, you're nervous, anxious. It's all going through your head. Like, what's going to happen?
Do you remember the walkout?
Yeah.
What song was it? What was it?
It was a Cypress Hill song, Tequila Sunrise.
They're Mexican, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the throwback.
Yeah, so I was nervous. I was definitely real nervous. I don't know. You're in a state of mind where, like, you don't really remember much. You just remember little snippets because you're just so in the zone.
Absolutely. And it's just like war of emotions.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so
basically
you get that first win. And was that when you realised, like, I really could make a go of this? Or was it a few wins later where you started?
A few wins later.
Okay.
It wasn't till... it wasn't till maybe Quinlan the first time where I really was like, fuck, I can make a career out of this. I never believed in myself a lot. I was never a confident kid growing up. So.
Okay.
And not until the first Quinlan fight where I go, I can do something with this. And I know I can take it to the top. Where I start now, I'm believing in myself a lot more, and the real Mateo Tapia is coming out. The normal me, not the shy kid that's I crawl myself, put myself in my room all day or like something like that, But not until the Quinlan fight, I think, where I've come out of my bubble a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had fights beforehand that were tough fights, and in Dubai, Copland, but I think just then, when I beat Quinlan, I knew I could take this all the way.
Absolutely, because he is a high quality opponent, and you were 21 at that point, or 20?
21. And he was ready, like he was sharp that fight.
Yeah, it's the best I'd seen him. I'd seen him once before, and he looked fucking great. He looked great. What's been the toughest fight in between that period, you reckon?
The first one in Dubai.
How does a fight in Dubai come about? You know what I mean? Like, to speak to people that don't necessarily follow boxing, but you get to fly all the way to Dubai and fight someone.
Yeah, so I'm signed with MTK.
Yep.
So their office is based in Dubai,
and that's different to your promotional.
Yeah, these are management.
Okay, so MTK manages you.
Yeah,
and the
promotional company I'm with is called Hoopy.
Okay, and they're two separate things. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, thank God. Thanks to them for making this fight happen, because I'm in a contract with Hoopy, so it's sort of like, and I can't get out of Australia basically, or come back in. You can get out, but coming back in is
tough.
Is where you don't want to be waiting 3 to 6 months in Dubai.
Oh, bro,
to come back.
No way.
Maybe not even getting back on those dates.
Absolutely.
So we sort of made, our team of behind the scenes have worked so hard to get this fight in Australia.
So how did that first fight come about to go all the way to Dubai and to fight someone? And what was that experience like for you?
I'm with MTK, and they said, look, let's test him out overseas. Let's see what he's like overseas. So I've gone overseas, and it was my first fight overseas where it was sort of like 4 weeks beforehand, I knew it was happening. But before that, they were telling me it's happening. I didn't see anything on social media, nothing, no news, no.
So, you just don't know.
So I'm in a big question mark on my head whether I'm actually going or not. And then 4 weeks before, they booked tickets, everything's going ahead. And I was like, fuck yeah. But then before that, a couple boys are fighting in Vietnam. So we went there for a week, 2 weeks beforehand for a week, and then flew from Vietnam to Dubai.
Okay.
And that week's supposed to be your important week, your last week, your important week of sparring.
Yeah.
I had nothing
Oh, fuck.
So we went to Dubai, and then I knew what was coming at me. This guy was a bull. And and you have no idea where this guy's from, what life he's lived beforehand, what sort of adversity he's gone through.
Yeah, absolutely. He could be you from another country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he was from India, and then obviously the poverty there. I didn't know what this dude brung. So I just said to myself before that fight, I'll die in this ring. I don't care. I'm coming out victorious.
Yep.
And I dropped in the first round, and it got me a bit of a breather. I was like, fuck, all right. I just got to control it. So
you dropped him the first round?
Dropped in the first round.
Yep.
But it sort of woke him up. You saw him come out.
Yeah, wow.
It was just a put him on his back the first round. Then he woke up and just started coming at me for 8 rounds, coming at me.
It's a dogfight.
A dogfight. Oh God, I had to get into a dogfight, and there was little things that happened that night that didn't go our way. Like the canvas was like a foam basically.
Really?
So you're on your toes, but your heels were touching.
Really? So your calves would have been blown out.
By the 3rd round, I go, Tony, my legs are dying here. What's wrong?
Yeah.
And we then figured the canvas was like,
fucking
wasn't
hell.
like a hard.
It's and like most
surface.
boxing canvases are relatively
firm.
hard. Yeah.
And
like springing your punches as well. You're not going to that's a soft canvas is more made for the slugger long term.
Exactly, because
rather
they
than
can
the
just
puncher.
tread on it and walk. We got to dance. We got to use our feet.
Absolutely. Yep.
And then it got to a point, the 4th round, Tony's like, just go Mexican on this dude. Just sit there with your head in his pocket.
Yep.
And just bang with him. See what he brings. And did that. Got him out of there in the last round.
Fuck, how good is that?
Yeah.
And do you think that you had a lot of growth in that experience? Like you go to overseas.
Definitely.
You're fighting a bloke you don't even know.
Definitely.
He could be... The problem with overseas, he could be terrible or he could be the next big thing. You just fucking don't know.
And this guy he didn't stop coming.
Yeah.
I just remember him grunting at me in the clinches, and I remember by the 7th round, my eye was like this, already swollen. Yeah. Because just had to fight with him. He didn't hit too hard, but if you take that punishment, you will.
Fucking 10-ounce gloves, man. That's a thing that a lot of I know people that love boxing are gonna know what I'm talking about. But for footy fans that watch, you don't actually, when you see boxing, when you look, it looks like it's padded.
It looks like it.
It looks like it's padded. But if you've ever been punched by not only a 10-ounce glove, but also the wraps underneath,
the wrapping.
It's not a pillow, but it looks like on TV, if you've never experienced boxing, the gloves look like they're soft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, nah, it fucking hurts, bro.
You can feel your knuckles.
Oh,
and then every boxer can probably, say this is you struggle to fit your hand in there.
Yeah, so tight.
Before you go in, you struggle because you got the wrapping like this, and then the glove's tiny, so you got 2 guys pulling, trying to get him in, and there's no room in there.
No fucking way.
Probably that much padding.
Yeah,
probably less.
And sometimes
plus your
wraps as well, and sometimes although the cutting isn't as bad, sometimes it's actually worse because they have padding in the glove, they can punch harder because it's not a bit because if you're just punching like that, you're going to break your hands. So the force can actually be much more. Okay, so you win that fight. Did you go out and do a buy or anything like that after that fight?
Yeah, we did. We had some fun.
What was that like?
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah,
it was actually I weighed in on my birthday. So I couldn't celebrate my birthday. It was April 3rd and I fought April 4. So I was making weight on my birthday. And we were like, fuck, let's get this fight over and done with and let's experience Dubai. Like,
absolutely.
I've never been.
Fuck, it's
I
incredible.
never thought I'd see a country like that.
Yeah, so growing up, we'll take you back a bit further. Growing up, what was it like for you financially? Was it a struggle or did you grow up, relatively okay?
Relatively okay. Maybe... I left school early. I was working as a brickies labourer.
I think when we first met, you were still working as a brickies labourer.
Possibly.
I think so.
Last year in COVID, I stopped doing it, but then I had no income. The gym was shut. Everything was shut.
Yeah,
so I was like, that's the only work that I could do to make money.
So you had to go back and do it.
I just went back and I didn't have to, but I felt like I needed to do something.
Absolutely.
So I've gone back and I started laying bricks.
How good is that?
Yeah, cool.
The Australian champs laying bricks.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so you go to. Do you remember anything specifically when you went out in Dubai or anything like that?
We fought on a golf course.
You fought on a golf course?
Looking over the whole of Dubai. So once the night went down, the whole city lit up.
No way.
And we were fighting smack bang in the middle of a golf course and just like the whole view of Dubai.
No way. How good's that?
Pretty incredible.
And so who was the main fighter on the card?
It was a local kid, a local African kid. And I think it was David Oliver Boyce. So one was an Irishman and the other one's from Dubai.
Okay. All right. So What about, so you come back from the Dubai fight? 'Cause the Dubai fight was what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
About 2 years ago.
Yeah. 2 years ago.
And since then, like with COVID and that, have you had any kind of approaches for big fights overseas, or you're still so young, you don't have to push forward too soon? But have you had any sniffs, I guess, from overseas?
No. Oh, we went back. We went back again in Dubai.
Okay.
We went back again, fought Stevie Collins. We're gonna go back again last October. Had everything booked 3 weeks beforehand. They just cancelled our flights.
The flights cancelled.
Yeah.
What?
Basically.
Did they give you a refund?
No, don't think so. But yeah, we didn't pay for them. It was MTK that did that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I don't know what happened there.
Oh, so MTK didn't cancel the flights. The airline cancelled the flights. Wow.
Something like that.
Wow.
So that was the first time. Then December, I had 2 dates in December, fall through. Same reason. We just couldn't get home. The uncertainty of getting home is...
It's just not worth it, especially at such a young age, bro. You don't want to miss 6 months of training because you're fucking over. And also, how can you afford to live over there as well?
Exactly. That's the problem.
Yep. Wow.
And I don't think these... that they don't want to be put in that position where to just... keep paying me every week just to stay in Dubai,
Be good though. If you could do that, it'd be pretty fucking sick. Okay, so going forward, like obviously you're not going to look past a very dangerous opponent in Renold.
No way.
But let's say everything's good, you win that fight. What's the kind of net? Because super middleweight, didn't Canelo just win the world title?
Yeah.
What's the kind of? I know it's hopefully one day you fight Canelo, but
hopefully one day.
What's the next kind of 12 months look like for you?
Look, I said to my team, don't mention Dubai anymore. Don't mention overseas because we can't get there.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's just been a year of fighting you have a fight, you go on, you have a fight, it's gone, you have a fight, it's gone, and it's hard on here.
Yeah, and the training and shit too.
It's hard to keep up. But I've learned how to peak and maintain, so which is good. But yeah, hopefully, I'm looking at 2 more fights here.
Okay.
And that should be, I think, enough time until the world opens up. But I'm excited for the world to open up because I'm with MTK and they have they're going to give me the best opportunities. We've already spoke. We've had meetings with them, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and hopefully we can get overseas and can fight these guys from UK and all of Europe because that's where it's at.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's either UK, Europe, or the States.
Absolutely.
And I want to sort of take it there.
Yep.
I want to get my name out.
Absolutely. What's been the best fight in the sense of like the cleanest knockout where you've just been like, that was fucking just felt perfect?
My last one.
Okay, yeah. Who was that against?
Collins Jr.
Collins Jr. On what card was that on?
Dubai,
okay.
On a Dubai card.
Yep.
And he looked at me like he was going to walk all over me that
Really?
Fight. He came out running at me.
Wow. So what was his record before the fight?
I think he only had 2 losses and 15 wins or something like that.
Yeah,
so.
okay. And he just thought, this fucking guy, this young fella from Australia, fuck him.
So his dad's a famous boxer, Steve Collins.
Okay.
He's big name in Ireland.
Yep.
And this was his son and came at me in the first round, just running at me.
Yeah.
And I just remember I hit him with a body shot in a clinch and I heard his wing go and I was just like, that's odd. First round. Shouldn't hear that.
Absolutely.
So I hit him again and he didn't like it. So then I hit him one more time in the body and he didn't. I saw his face change.
Okay, yeah.
And then landed 2 headshots and he stayed up. I don't know how they landed so clean.
Yeah.
We got in a clinch again and I pushed him on the ropes and I've just landed this right hand. I knew it fuzzed him out because his hands went all floppy and I just kept laying into him from there.
Yeah. And the ref called it off, pulled it off. Fucking hell, that must feel good. So did you go out again after that in Dubai after that win?
No, nah. I was a bit more sensible this time. I went home and I just what did we eat? I ate this local shop on the corner. I just ate a chicken burger and
just chilled out.
Coke and just went home. Yeah.
Okay, how good's that? Okay. Do you watch any footy at all or not really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Who's your team?
Manly. Might
Right.
be a little hate saying that.
Because he's Rabbitohs, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Manly supporter. What's dealing with your boys? Have you watched them this year?
Yeah. I wish them luck, but it's not looking.
It's not looking good.
With Tommy
bro.
Turbo out, it's not looking up.
Mate, Tommy Turbo is the key. I mean, I support the Broncos, and we're not going any better, bro. So we're in the same boat. Did you watch footy growing up at all?
Little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too much, but I did. Yeah. When I first came, I was a Roosters fan because I was living in the eastern suburbs for a couple of years, but then I moved to the northern beaches, and then that's when I became a Manly fan.
So when you moved there, that's what brought you along. Okay.
I was like, fuck, let's go for them.
So you would have been there when they won the premiership, like 2011, 13, and that.
Probably.
You would have been about
when they had
10, 12.
I just remember the Storm and them, that rivalry they had.
Yeah, absolutely. The punch on they had. Do you remember that? The sideline.
I remember one game I was there and they won by golden. I don't know who kicked the field goal, but they won by 1 point. It was a home game against the Storm, and it was pretty like most packed I've ever seen Brookie Oval.
Yeah.
It was just one of those games. So
they used to have the biggest fucking rivalry. The Stewart brothers. They just hated each other.
Yeah.
It's because they were both the best sides for a period there.
Yeah.
Storm still is now, which fucking it's tough to take.
Yeah, I know.
Tough to take. Ask all the boys this favorite rapper of all time.
I got a few. I listen to a lot of rock as well.
Okay.
But rapper, maybe 50 Cent.
Yep.
There's a few in there I could juggle.
Yeah, could
Big
juggle.
L.
Okay. What about favorite movie of all time?
Cool. I like Shooter.
That's a great fucking movie. He's a gun, bro.
I don't know. Shooter's probably up there.
Shooter's right out there.
Yeah.
If there's one fight you could have, you could choose any opponent. Who would it be? The current opponent. Canelo. You just love to just get in there with him.
I'd love to be go through a camp and prepare for him. Could happen one day. I don't know.
That fucking know that might. You're on the trajectory.
But hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's
the kingpin at the top right now.
Absolutely.
Basically. So that's where I'm setting my standards to.
Absolutely.
Wherever I land, I don't mind, but I'm setting my standards high.
Mate, fucking oath. I mean, there's only one path to that. You look at like a Cambosis. I had him on the podcast years ago, and he was saying the same stuff. He was like, "That's my fucking goal," and that's where he is now. You know, and a lot of people, he was very confident from the outset, Cambosis, and a lot of people doubted him, and now he's about to fight fucking Lopez.
Exactly.
So fucking oath it can happen.
It's a career-changing opportunity for him, you know.
Oh man, I hope he wins, man. Fuck, I mean, it's a tough battle.
Fingers crossed.
Fuck, it's a tough battle, but I hope he wins.
I think he can box him.
I think so. I don't think he's out of his. I don't think he's out of his depth at all.
I don't think so. A lot of people, saying he is, but I don't think so. Knowing George, I don't think so.
Put it this way: if there's one person that's going to be prepared to the best of his ability,
it's George.
It's him, 100%. Who have you got? Tim Zoo versus Hogan. Now I know Hogan trains at the gym, doesn't he, at Bondi, or he did for a bit?
Nah, Tim does. Well, me and Tim, we're sparring partners.
Yep. Okay.
So, but Hogan's. There's a few Irish boys in the gym, but they're not there anymore. But they're good friends. They're all the Irish network's connected with.
Who you got? Tim Zoo. It's Hogan, hey?
Yeah.
Okay. Who you got?
Zoo. He's looking. Zoo? I mean, I've sparred with him since growing up, and he's looking fit. He's looking sharp.
Yep.
He seems like he's got a different mindset this time around. Even torn, Yep. I think he's more. It's a game of I think Hogan's had his time.
Yeah. Okay. Whereas
it's Timmy's time. Now.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me personally, watching Timmy Zoo, just his fights, the leaps and bounds he's made over the last 2 years. Like there was a period there where I was like technically really fucking good. And this is when he's young. Like fuck, obviously every boxer grows. But I thought, I don't know if his power's there. But I feel like his power has grown exponentially, especially in the last few fights.
It has.
Yep.
It has. We sparred so much, and I felt it a couple times. But yeah, it has a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. Again, I didn't fucking spar him, that's for sure.
I don't really notice it because we spar
all the time. Yeah, okay.
And me and Tim are sort of it's like a chess match. Like we know each other from the back of a book, so we have to try new stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And then one day he might get it over, one day I might get it over, and then that's how we work.
Yeah, it's so good for you to have that quality.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Bro, thank you so much for coming on. Make sure to buy the main event on KO or Fox Sport or Foxtel. It's Wednesday. You're the first fight of the main card.
Yep.
Good luck, brother, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Boom.